Greetings, my fellow learners. Today we start that wonderful journey to becoming a web developer, or perhaps you're just testing the waters. Either way, we will take each other's hand and start to walk this path. The very first building block we must learn to develop code for the web is HTML. And that's where we begin on the very next slide. Ready, set, let's go. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's the most basic building block of the web. Hypertext refers to the links that connect web pages to each other. Users access web pages using a browser application. Famous browsers are Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Internet Explorer, Edge, Opera. There's a host of them. The objects that are seen on the web browser are hosted on what is known as a web server. The browser is interpreting HTML code, amongst other technologies, from the web server, which creates the page that you are viewing. HTML often applies the same structure to a web page that you would see in regular print. It might have a heading and a body, paragraphs, pictures, etc. For this reason, we can see HTML as a describer of web pages. HTML uses what are known as tags to instruct the web page on what to present. An example of an HTML tag could be the title tag. It's where you place the title of the web page. Let's dive into these HTML tags at a deeper level. Generally, HTML uses what's known as opening and closing tags, and they look just like this. Right here, we have an opening tag with the letter P in it, and then we have a closing tag. It's indicated by a / before that P. That's what's known as a closing tag. So the characters in the brackets indicate the tag's purpose. P, in this particular case, stands for paragraph. So these are paragraph tags. You might be wondering, what tools do I need to use to learn HTML? Well, as luck would have it, it's pretty simple. All we need to learn HTML and to start to build a basic website is a text file and a web browser. That's it. What we're going to do to make it easier right now is we will use an online tool that will combine both of these two things into one handy dandy little editor. So if you open up your web browser, whether it be Google Chrome or what have you, it doesn't matter, http:// and type in htmleditor.tools, you'll get to something that looks like this. Let's not wait any longer. Let's see a demo. We open our web browser and we type HTML. There it is. And once you type htmleditor.tools, you'll get the editor. So whatever I put here, you see that it automatically on the right-hand side gives us our tags. So I could do different things that we'll learn about. I could format this as heading 1, and then it'll put an H1 tag, which is the largest size that we can have around the text. It's the largest heading we can have. We can do other things. We can make it bold. Then it'll put something called strong tags around it. We can italicize, and now it puts emphasis tags around it. We can underline. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can do. We can add a link. So we can put HTTP. We can add a link. So every time we go ahead and hit that, it'll bring up Google. It automatically formats it for us, so it kind of takes the error out of it. So that's what we can use. There's other IDEs you can use. There are, like I said, a plain old text file and a web browser. Whatever you like, there's plenty of ways to get this done. So what is the basic structure of an HTML page? Let's look at these basic parts. Number 1, the HTML tag itself. This defines the root of an HTML document, or the top level of our page, top level of our HTML document. Then we typically have inside of that something known as the head tags. This defines information about the document. It's invisible to the user. The head tag doesn't show up to the user, but it's very important to the browser. And you notice in all cases I have HTML open tag, HTML close tag. Then inside of that I have my opening head tag, and then I have my closing head tag. Again, the closing tag is denoted by that / and then by the same identifier. In the first case it would be HTML. In the second case it would be head. So it would be / HTML to close it, just HTML without the / to open. Then we have our title. So the title tag defines the title of the document. It would be seen in the browser window, on top of the window, not within the body of it. Then we have our body tags. This defines the document's body, its container for all other page content. Then, as we briefly took a look before, we have our H1 tags, or our heading tags. This defines the 6 different levels of headings from smallest to largest, 1 being the largest, 6 being the smallest. And then here we also have paragraph tags, or P tags. We saw that way in the beginning, our first example. This encapsulates a given paragraph for the page. We can have as many as we'd like on our page, and this is just one. And in here we have the text. There is nothing we can't do with a little work. Amen. All right, so you may be wondering, great, we have this HTML code. What does it look like in the browser? So here it is. On the lower right-hand side is our code from the previous page, and this is what it would look like if you right-clicked on that and rendered it in the browser. And I mentioned it before. You could create your HTML code in a plain text editor that ships with every operating system, no matter which computer type you have. So how would we do that? We would open a text editor like Notepad, for example, copy in our HTML code that we used in HTML editor, save the file, give it any name you want. Here I saved it as first_page.html. We have to make sure we have the extension correct. It can't be a .txt.html. It must be .html. And then we can go to the directory where the file is stored and simply double click on that, and it'll pop up in the browser and look just like this. There's also another tool that I want to expose you to that you surely have at your disposal if you have Google Chrome. And this is what makes Google Chrome my favorite web browser. So open Google Chrome and go to the Google homepage. Go to View, Developer, and Inspect Elements. And then you should see either on the bottom or the right-hand side, depending upon how you have it oriented, in the Elements tab, you'll see all the HTML code, plus a whole lot of other stuff. But right now we just want to focus on the HTML code that it took to build this particular page. So if ever you wanted to get ideas about how web pages are coded up, you're able to just go right into Google Chrome. And it's not just for that. It can help you troubleshoot your own pages as well. So keep this in your back pocket at all times. I think you'll find it as useful as I do. All right, so let's take a look at this. You can do it this way as well. From the main page, you could right-click, inspect, and then you see it comes up here. And I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Let's see. All right, so you see I have all these tabs across the top, but the one that we're interested in right now is Elements. Now watch what happens as I start to traverse down. Now you know this is the body tag, right? So you see we could expand or collapse them, but this is everything that's in body. And here, this is what's in the header element, obviously. Right, we see header class, and we can keep expanding to see different things. Now, a lot of this isn't going to make sense to you right now, but it was important to me to expose you to it so you can see what it is we have. And even here, something that we'll certainly get to is some inline JavaScript that they have in this page. So you can get to it all. You can have a load of fun just saying, okay, I wonder how they did this. And maybe this will give you some inspiration and some ideas on how some of this stuff is working. Okay, so right click, inspect, right from Google. Okay, and we'll get into this more and more as we go. HTML is the programming language, if you will, or the application that deals with presenting the data, what data to present, not necessarily how to present it, but the what. What am I going to present? So we can make certain changes. It's all about the tags in HTML, right? As we mentioned before. So here, number one, we're going to use a B for a bold tag. Right? We can also do emphasis, or we can do strong rather for a bold. It's another way to present it. But you can just simply do B around the word nothing. And how does that change it? Well, it makes it bold, just like this. And number two, what are we doing here? Oh, italicus, right? So bends us over a little bit to the side. Here we do number three, we do a subscript. So this is footnoted, and you see the little number one goes down. Number four, we're doing superscript, so it goes up, as in February 22nd. So we just put that around the ND, and that makes it show up like this. So these are just some of the tags to manipulate our text. There's more of them. There's many more tags that I'm going to show you here. But this presentation, soup to nuts, probably exposes you to more tags than most that I've seen. So hopefully this will be helpful and will inspire you to dig in even deeper. Here I exposed you to 2 tags that I use all the time. And what's funny about these tags is they are only opening tags. There's no closing tag needed here. Remember at the beginning I said that most of them have opening and closing tags, but not all. So here we have line breaks and horizontal lines. I literally use these all the time for spacing and to clarify things. So you see right here, number 1. At the end of the sentence, there is nothing we can't do with a colon. I break the line, which means that the rest of the text will go wrap around to the next line, and you see little work, right? So the rest of what's in that paragraph tag goes down to the next line like you see it here. Then we have the horizontal rule, or the horizontal line, which is denoted by the HR here next to number 2. So you see after the text, today is February 22nd, we have a horizontal line, which is also great to just space the page and make one section end and another section begin. 2 very good tools that you should keep in the front of your mind. And here we have 2 more text manipulation tags. We have strong and emphasis. Here, strong is just like it says strong, and then the closing tags /strong, and then emphasis EM and /EM. So one bolds and one italicizes the word. It's pretty much the same as the B and the I, just a different way to do it. And here we have 2 different ways to present a quote. First, there's the block quote, which indents the sentence in. And the other is the actual quote using the Q, the letter Q, in between the tags, which actually throws quote marks around the sentence itself. And there's the infamous lists in HTML. There's 2 different types. The ordered lists, which will give you the numbers on the left-hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The list would be ordered. And then the unordered list. The ordered list uses as the parent tag OL. The unordered list uses the UL, and in between you have LI for the list items. And there is another type of list known as the description list, used to define terms, generally speaking. So you see here we have the DL for description list, which goes across the whole section that you want to define terms for. Then we have DT, which is the term or the word or the phrase you want to define. And then the DD is the definition itself, and you see that it automatically tabs over the definition. The funny thing about this is the opening tag could be a slash or no slash. So you can use the same tags, opening and closing, for these, I found. But probably to keep it consistent, you'd want to just do DT to open and /DT to close. And rounding out the topic of lists, we could create nested lists. So you see we have UL followed by 2 LIs for peanut butter and cashew butter. And then under that, we have another grouping of ULs with a bunch of LIs. Right, so we have peanut butter, cashew butter, with bread, make cookies, right out of the jar. Right, all the different ways that we could eat cashew butter is what it looks like there. Okay? Okay, coding family, thank you for watching till the end. If this class has helped you, consider helping me to continue to bring these classes to you and others. Helping is easy. Just do the following. First, subscribe to the Yogi Coder YouTube channel, and all you have to do is click on my little icon here on the lower right-hand side, and it'll bring up the subscription button right away. Next, you can leave whatever comments or questions you'd like. And finally, share this video on any and all social media channels with your friends and your colleagues. Thank you again for watching, and until we meet again, happy coding.